Okay, guys, well, I just wanted to bring you this post that I have put up on Facebook, and I just wanted to give some observations and insights around why I posted what I did and some of the reactions to the information that I've posted. Now, the post was in regards to activating your third eye or your pineal gland. And once again, I'm seeing on my feed, all of this activating of the pineal gland stuff again, And so, once again, obviously, to me, it's the establishment feeding out this information to people to share around, and they do so ignorantly. And I just want to remind people that if you're sharing information you don't quite understand, but you just kind of think it sounds a bit cool, just know that you're accountable for sending other people in the wrong direction, even if you do so ignorantly. So you be sure that you know the information that you're sharing, because you don't want to be putting people on the wrong path. Now, there is this belief in the New Agey establishment, and I'll call it New Agey establishment because there is a New Age and there is a New Agey establishment. And the New Age is basically the wonderful and enriching information and knowledge we had saved for us from the hands of the Antichrist in the form of esoteric wisdom. And it had to be hidden in a way, because if it was blatantly just allowed to be circulated, well, it all would have been destroyed. So the tarot cards were created, and alchemy was created, and all of these alchemical diagrams. Alchemy is not just a physical understanding of chemical reactions. We have to look at alchemy on all levels as well. Everything happens on the three planes, everything. So whenever you're looking at an experience in one aspect, one level, then you have to understand that that same experience is also playing out on the other planes, and they all merge together. There is really no hard lines between each of the planes. They all kind of play into each other. So I'm giving you this as a little bit of an understanding to why you can't just expect to do some external process and have something magically activate within you. And this is what the New Age establishment are trying to tell us. But if you go with the New Age, the wonderful esoteric knowledge that was handed down to us, and this is why I will no longer actually label my information as New Age, because it has been bastardized that much. I really don't want anything else to do with it. It's all about law of attraction, and it's all about creating your own reality, and you are God, and you can manifest anything material that you want. Well, you know what, guys? That's not what it's about. That's actually the opposite of what it's about, because what you're then saying is that you are God and that you're creating your reality, which means that then you're having an impact on other people's reality and what they're creating through their consciousness. So how does that work without being one big chaotic mess? Because, sooner or later, you are going to be impacting someone else's journey, and you are not in their journey if you're going to be impacting it negatively, and they're visualizing and manifesting their own reality. I mean, it just doesn't play out when you actually look at it logically and start thinking it through. You can't be creating your own reality. Or what happens with the sun? Who makes that go up every day? If you all meditate enough, do you think you could make the sun not rise? This is what this creating reality also needs to encompass for it to make sense and be a logical theory that is able to be considered. And because it doesn't actually add up on a lot of these different levels when you require it to meet certain standards and tests, I look elsewhere for my information. And this is why I've always just allowed the information to speak to me instead of wanting the information to tell me something and trying to make the information tell me something. Because I was only ever wanting information to understand everything. I really didn't care what it was. I just wanted to know what it was. And so I have investigated a lot of these different areas, on my seeking, which I've been doing for a very long time. I mean, I woke up in 1999. Imagine that. Imagine how people roll their eyes at you and don't want to listen to you times 1,000. Okay, because that's what it was like in 1999 when you realised, and I mean, I didn't wake up to the esoteric part of everything, but I woke up to the government shit and what was happening to us and trying to warn people, and, nobody listened and everybody rolled my eyes. And I bet you a lot of you in 1999, if I'd come and spoken to you about stuff, probably would have done the same thing. So I'm not saying I'm better than everyone. I'm just saying that, I've kind of been doing this a while and I've got some information that may help you understand the situation and how things are going down from my perspective. And if you agree with it or resonate to it, and it's not about agreeing with me, it's just about resonating to information that kind of something within you tells you to trust your gut about that information, because that's what we've forgotten to do. We've forgotten to trust our gut. See, we're too busy living up in our ba. We've become sheep. Our ba, ba, ba. And that's what the ancient Egyptians actually called it. The soul that resides in your consciousness is your ba. The soul that resides in your navel solar plexus, if you've watched my Mystery Teachings series, is the ka. And that's the other thing, people that have not watched the Mystery Teachings series, but then comment on posts in the group and try and understand information and symbols that I'm posting. And I'm not finger pointing at anyone, but I just want to really make it clear that if you're not in possession of an understanding of the symbolism and the information, then all you're doing is just taking a guess at what you think. And basically, I'm past trying to guess. I've actually found the information, I've investigated it, I've joined the dots, I've proven it. I could be peer-reviewed right now by anybody, and my information and knowledge would absolutely pass their scrutiny. Okay, because I haven't made anything up. I've just gone and found it and put it together. And it's completely not what a lot of them are saying. And so I can see that there's an aversion to this being accepted. Nobody wants to think that God is in the picture, especially as the New Age community removed him, the establishment removed him, and you can't remove God. And, I say him. If people take offense because I refer to him in the masculine, these goddesses out there, you know what? Yes, there is a goddess too, but I'm actually going with the information once again, which shows that it's Osiris, it's Odin, okay, it's Zeus, all right? Orion is masculine, and Orion is our creator. And I'm not saying that Orion doesn't have a female aspect, but the aspect that creates and manifests our reality is Orion. And so that's why I say he. And that's probably why a lot of the mythology and the knowledge in regards to God also puts male. But there, of course, is female, because we know that it's the female creational forces, it's the high priestess, it's the empress, it's that energy, the moon, Isis, that brings us into creation. God couldn't even exist if it wasn't for the female, because we birth God into existence onto the physical plane. His divinity within all of us, because, we're not gods, okay? But what we are is a part of God, because each of us has divinity. Each of us has a part of God within us. Tao is representative of that divinity. And so this is what the New Agey establishment has taken away from people that believe this crap that I'm about to read you about the pineal gland being activated. And you can do it through some external process of some diet, or listening to some type of music, or meditating. It doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen like Hollywood says it and how the science fiction galactic heroes, want you to believe. It doesn't happen that way. It comes from an internal process of seeking knowledge and wisdom and understanding who you are and your place in the universe. And that only comes from really understanding how the universe works consciously and physically and spiritually and mentally, because science, the science that we have now from the establishment, only addresses the physical. They don't address the spiritual and the conscious side of things. Even the electric universe theory, it's great science, but they still don't acknowledge the mental and consciousness aspect of the universe. And if we have a conscious universe, if the universe is mental, then there must be will, there must be mind and thought behind consciousness, which means there's a creator, which means that you can't go around calling yourself God and believing you're God, creating and manifesting reality and manifesting money and situations, because it doesn't happen that way. You are destined to do certain things, and you have free will to basically take alternate paths to certain destined events in your life. And you are basically here to make the most of the life you've been given. And sometimes in an incarnation, because we have many, it's not the life that someone else has. But that's where the test of character comes in. That's where the test of the soul comes in. And that's what it's all about. And again, this is what the information and the knowledge basically brings it back to ourselves. And this is what we have to do, make it back to ourselves, not to external processes that we have to go and buy a DVD to tell us what to do, or buy a herb, or do. No, it's all within, and it's all about gathering wisdom and gathering knowledge about who you really are and your place in the universe and your relationship with the Creator, your personal relationship, because this is where the church and the religious establishment have basically stepped in. Okay, and taken control of the Hierophant, which is the energetic connection between you and God. There is a consciousness to be accounted for in between our consciousness and the divine and God consciousness. And this is in my Mystery Teachings series once again. So really, guys, you need to watch the series entirely to understand what I'm going to be talking about, because those that have, we're going to be moving on with information and starting to delve further into all of this understanding of who we are. And those that don't have a clue are just going to keep floundering around, and trying to find out what's going on. So it's up to you. But I do find it a little bit time wasting when people ask me, simplistic questions that can be answered easily in the Mystery Teaching series. And really think about that when you are questioning me in regards to things in the group, because I can tell them whether you've watched the series or not, because most of the questions I get asked are all in the information. So, just go and watch the series, and if you've got any questions afterwards, then let's discuss it and talk about it. Because I'm not saying I've got all the information. I've just basically pulled up the basics, and now I'm just trying to fill in the gaps with more information, and I'm just waiting for that to unfold. I don't really go, out of my head trying to find information everywhere. I'll just allow it to start opening up, and then areas are just there and we start looking into them. So that's where I'm at the moment. So anyway, I'm just posting this to let people know, that the pineal gland and the third eye, that activates and opens, if you want to call it activate or the third eye opening, when you understand who you are. So it is not an external process. And, I'm sorry that a lot of people get confronted when I post these. But, I will continue to post them. I'm sorry if that is something that people don't like. Unfriend me, block me. I don't care. But as long as people keep pushing this crap and I know better, then I've got a responsibility to say something, or I don't feel like I'm doing the right thing. So, really, it's up to you whether you accept my information or not. That's what it comes down to, because I'm going to keep bringing it regardless. So anyway, I'll leave it there, guys. And as always, peace out.